For my informative speech, I would like to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of medicating children with ADD or ADHD. But first, I would like to share what ADD and ADHD is. According to the ADD and ADHD Foundation, ADD is officially called Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, or ADHD, American Psychiatric Association, 1994. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder is a common psychiatric disorder characterized by symptoms of hyperactivity, impulsivity, and inattention that begin in early childhood and continue to cause impairment into adolescence and young adulthood. Relative to their typically developing counterparts, children with ADD have been shown in numerous slides or studies to be at a significantly greater risk for poor academic performance, as indicated by higher rates of retention and special education placement, and the need for more frequent academic tutoring or adjunctive services, making ADD/ADHD medication decisions can be difficult, but doing your homework first helps. The first thing to understand is exactly what the medications for ADD and ADHD can and can't do. ADHD medicine may help improve the ability to concentrate, control impulses, plan ahead, and follow through with tasks. However, it isn't a magic pill that will fix all of your child's problems. Even when the medication is working, a child with ADD might still struggle with forgetfulness, emotional problems, and social awkwardness, or an adult with disorganization, distractibility, and relationship difficulties. That's why it's important to also make lifestyle changes that include regular exercise, a healthy diet, and sufficient sleep. Medication does not cure ADD or ADHD. It can relieve symptoms while it's being taken, but once the medication stops, those symptoms come back. Also, ADHD medication works better for some than for others. Some people experience dramatic improvement while others experience only modest gains, because each person responds differently and unpredictably to the medication for ADHD. Its use should always be personalized to the individual and closely monitored by a doctor. When medication for ADD or ADHD is not carefully monitored, it is less effective and more risky. The controversial subject of medicating children with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder was the focus of several APA 2001 annual convention sessions. They sponsored a panel discussion for leading clinicians and researchers and collaborate on solutions, presenting varied concerns about how we treat children for ADHD in the United States. Another speaker, University of California at San Francisco clinician Lawrence Diller, MD, agreed with Lefever's position on over-medication. Diller said that while he is no doubt that Ritalin works, certainly in short term, no one talks about moral equivalent, better parenting, and more appropriate schooling for children. Taking a different tack, Columbia University's Peter Jansen, MD, presented data to disprove that behavioral therapy, even the most intensive parental training and teacher consultation, manages ADHD as effectively as medication. Jansen cited the NIMH Collaborative Multi-Site Multimodal Treatment Study of Children with Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, of which he presented. William Pelham, PhD, of the State University of New York at Buffalo, and 6 others were the lead investigators. The study tested 4 treatment options combined with pharmacologic and intensive behavioral therapy, medicine alone, intensive behavioral therapy alone, and usual care, leaving families with the choice of treatment they would seek from their community providers. This option thus included medication with methamphetamine for 70% of the cases. Jansen reported that the researchers found children's inattention and hyperactivity could equitably manage with both intensive combination of pharmacological treatments, but combined treatments more successfully treated domains of functional impairment, such as aggression, defiance, and poor social skills, than medication alone. At the end of his year-long study, Jensen reported 68% of the participants in the combined group met the criteria for ADHD normalization, a reduction or complete discontinuation of the behaviors, such as extreme aggression and lack of concentration, that set ADHD children apart from their peers. In the medication management group, 56% met the normalization criteria. In the behavior therapy group, 34% reached the normalized, and only 25% in the community care groups did likewise. By comparison, parents and teachers much preferred a combination of pharmacological and behavioral treatment alone. These options had far lower dropout rates and much lower dissatisfaction, but also appeared to produce results with more staying power after 1 year of treatment. Parents need to be presented with a choice, he said, concerned that in actual practice the risks and benefits of medication are rarely presented. Wider treatment options, he said, will help normalize functioning of many ADHD children without medication. For those children for whom behavioral treatments are insufficient, the addition of medication can be very valuable. In the end, Charles Cunningham, PhD of McMaster University, the most salient points to examine are whether parents receive a balanced description of all possible interventions, whether both children and parents participate in the service delivery process, and whether there is equitable funding for all proven treatments. He called upon his colleagues to invest the same time, effort, and money in improving the performance of our psychosocial interventions that we put on our pharmaceutical interventions.